Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. It is Tuesday, first day of the week down. We were closed yesterday. Futures opened up about 5 handles. And we pretty much grinded higher all day long. Now listen, no one is saying throw a dart at the stock market and you could just make money and pick winners. But there are ways to find calculated setups with a proper risk reward that can keep you involved in this tape. From an active standpoint, if you're an active trader looking to make cash flow, you trade for a career, you have to keep finding the setups. You can't fight the trend. If you're a long-term investor, you know what? If we have a pullback in the next week, month, who cares? Doesn't matter. Put your monthly flows in. Last 100 years, the bull market wins, and it's probably going to win again. It's just a matter of when this next little corrective phase happens. And some are saying, now February 28th is the big deadline for the tax plan. But anyway, short term, you look at the market, look at the S&P cash, and there's definitely a lot to like technically. This was your last little V bottom, just like your V Brexit bottom, and then this is when, I don't know if it would have mattered who got in office, but this was after the election. If you would have turned the TV off and said, hey, let me look at the chart pattern of the stock market, and said, look at this little sell-off because people are scared, bounce back, took back this descending trend line here, you know what, I am now bullish. Doesn't matter what's going on TV, in Washington, etc. From here, 8 and 21-day moving average, we talk about holding for a strong tape. Did we stay above the 8 and 21-day moving average since November? Yes. Has there been a few different breakout trades? Yes, one here. Then you actually had one here, okay, which was a little bit of a trap, but it held, and then you had another one here. Okay, and all in all, lots of ways to enter, exit, trade, size up, size down, blah, blah, blah. And then last week, yes, the market could have sold off. But what did it do? It went sideways for 3 days, let the 8-day catch up, reversed hard on Friday, and now you're getting a little upside today. So if the market does not go down when it could go down or maybe should go down, it's showing you it's still strong and it goes up. Same way if we have good news and it doesn't go up, then maybe it comes in. Either way, here is your 3-day consolidation opening up. Tomorrow we'll talk about levels depending on the futures. Let's start getting into some of the setups. So I've been trying to stay involved, okay? We specialize in trading, usually what moves, and that's been high beta. Last week I was trying, to sit in Amazon. I wanted that new high trade, and then finally, after lulling everyone to sleep, it gave you a nice new high trade today. Lots of different trades in Amazon, right? Here was your your post-earnings sell-off. This was a small red dog reversal. Some traders bought right here when it got above 818 and stayed in the whole time. Some traded around it, or some, played it even pre-market at 845 to 848, and now here you have 856. I did sell my Amazon today. It just, being up whatever this is, 11, 12 days, I just figured, I just don't want to, I could find a different setup that's a little bit tighter. I like tight setups that wind up expanding. Google I didn't touch today. What did Google do today? A little bit of a topping tail. Still not near this failure at 861. Still not trading quite like the Google of old, but it did give you a little bit of a breakout on Friday. And if you sold some into the gap open, maybe you hold some. I definitely don't love this. Don't love it, okay? But here's Facebook, all right? And look at this, this was your after, what's it called? This was your after earnings failure at 133.5. But what happened? It didn't fall apart. That was when they were selling these high beta names. Didn't really matter what the earnings were. And this was strong, just not enough then. Here is the reversal, and now you have a very tight pattern. For some reason, if this was a different stock, I probably wouldn't be in it. But because I've been trading Facebook for so long, and I just feel as if there's a sneaky move that could happen here soon. I am long some, and just so I don't lose sight of it, because I lost sight of Facebook during this process here, because I was in Amazon, I was in Google, I was in Baba, I was in all these other names, and I missed out on my little Facebook when I reclaimed the 8 and 21 days. So here, I'm in some. So if it starts to go, I'll see it, and I'll be able to grab more, and then we'll see if it makes a new high. Either way, bull flag up there, and you can come back to me. We'll see if it continues. Today, after being frustrated a little bit from Baba last week, I did buy it back. I came in flat Baba, bought it. It was on my note. Take a look at it. Why was it still on my note? Because it did, have nice earnings, right? Here was nice earnings, beautiful earnings. Anyway, first this was your descending channel here when it woke up. This was the little bull flag breakout before earnings, and now it was going sideways. So for today, okay, it cleared this 101.74. I bought it a little bit before then, anticipating that. You know, I did that a few times in here and it didn't work. Here it actually worked a little bit, and now I'm in it and I'm thinking it works its way back towards this resistance, and then at some point maybe there's a good trade through it to get back towards the highs here. You know, maybe I'm wrong, or this was a good little buy here. I know that if we were to be trading through here with massive volume, I'd be buying it there, so I might as well have a little bit versus this earnings gap that held and versus the 21-day. Baidu, I'm still sitting in the calls. Earnings are on Thursday. We've been long these calls since this nice little bull flag breakout. Okay, it's held the 8-day. If you're in it thinking I might get one more move prior to earnings, okay, that's your risk. I'm just sitting in some calls. I actually sold the third, but I'm sitting in the rest just in case. Vitesse, just to update you on that, hanging in there. Big earnings move. And now you had 2 inside days. Some people would be long versus this pivot. That's your out. Some people might wait to see if it takes this out and gets a little momentum. Sometimes it takes longer than others. So at this point, 2 different ways to play it. Let's go to the semis. SWKS, put it on my notes so many times last week. And you know what? I was driving up to Rochester, New York for the vacation, and I missed it. I should have had a buy stop in. But anyway, triggered, went, and now see if it holds up here. Nice trade for some of you guys. Some of you are long versus this. Some are waiting for a move above 93.50. Either way, nice setup. Look at that, a setup. We like setups. AVGO also gave you a nice setup, kind of similar to that one. Okay, why is it similar? Because you had a nice upper level flag going sideways. Some people were long versus spots. Some were waiting for it to break above it. Now you have up 3 days. You know, my rule is buy day 1, add day 2, try and sell day 3. Sometimes I buy day 1 and sell day 2 and get upset on day 3. It happens. But anyway, nice action in AVGO. The video, I wasn't in my office on Friday, and you know, a lot of guys are like, Red Dog, was this a Red Dog reversal? I'm like, well, I've done webinars this 100 times. Is it? Did it come down from 120? Did it break below 105.66 and make a new low of 104.79 and reclaim that? Yes. So is that a Red Dog reversal? Yes. So if you bought it here and took home a third, you got paid overnight. Now we'll see if it continues. Nice little day-and-a-half trade without worrying if the top of the stock market's in. Just a nice setup, a buyable dip. Failed here, and then a little bit of a bottom strategy there. See what's next. If I was in this, I would be taking it home. I'm not in that for now. Let's get into some bios. INSEE, you know, for those of you who read Red Dog's note, or what's it called, took my 2017 report, this to me was a very speculative one. One of my institutional sales traders in the bio area said, I love this. I said, you know what, I don't like to hold bios that I know nothing about. You know what, I'm going to accumulate some of the $9 calls for what could be a bigger move later this year. Why could it be a bigger move? Look where this came from. It came from 40 all the way down here. So that was a concept. I don't like sitting in concepts, but you know what? You know, read about the company. I'm not going to do that for you. But what happened here is because I knew about it, all of a sudden, you know, you had your day 1. So anyway, day 1, 2 inside bars, took out this, you know, trigger, which was the pivot I wrote in the note. I think it was 11.23, and boom. I was at Fox Business when this happened, so I'm sitting in my call still. Didn't take the options. Plus, I did the wrong homework thinking that it had earnings today. So I only want it to be in options because I don't take stock into earnings, especially little bios. There was a little bio today that the people took and got cut in half. I don't do that. But anyway, you know, nice little setup here, right? Day 1, sideways, continuation, without picking the top in the stock market. GWPH, what is that doing? Just hanging around. We're still in some calls there too. You know, this was a nice little move here, another nice day trade there. Now, short term, see if it holds this, and then at some point maybe it goes again. In the May calls, I'm hoping that, I hate the word hope, I think perhaps at some point with another catalyst that gets up above that for a day trade. This was your cleaner day trade now, I'm not sure. I did take some Mobileye calls into earnings for tomorrow morning. Why did I do that? Because I've been sitting in this stock from here. I actually got lucky today. Why did I get lucky? Because I didn't realize that earnings were tomorrow morning, so I had a little bit more than I normally do, and then all of a sudden news came out, it was up $1, so I started selling some, realizing I'm not going to be taken into earnings, and it gave me a way out. So while it came in, though, I did buy some calls for Friday, thinking that if they do have good earnings, that at some point the options are pricing in 50, and I would be upset if I miss it. So I'm in some calls, but if it They miss, risk is premium paid, I'll be out of it. I'm not taking the stock into it just because, again, I don't do that. It woke up earlier this year and it's still acting well. Automated cars, et cetera, the wave of the future. This has been a pioneer there early, so I'm thinking that this is something that, can continue. Lastly, oil had a nice move, broke above its range. XLE not really doing so well. I did buy a little XLE. We'll see what happens here if it plays a little catch up. All in all, commodities are just not the place to be. They haven't been this entire year, ever since this wide range bar to start. But we'll see if this could hold above this. If it doesn't, then I don't think that. It just seems like oil stocks don't believe that oil is going higher. But anyway, it's in this trend, still looks pretty good. Why does it look good? Here was your red dog reversal, held a little higher. Maybe at some point it gets going. So I'm in small. This will be my stop. That's about it. So. Lots of things to do again. Every time I go on Fox Business, I feel like they always are asking me that, but they're good about it. Like, what could derail the rally? What's the next sector to go? Where are the good setups? And we try and go through it. I get about a minute and a half to do it there, but here I get about 10, 15 minutes on my recap, and I do it real time every single morning based on what's going on in the overseas, in the futures, et cetera, et cetera. So keep tuning in. Let's find those active setups and, keep moving forward. And if something changes, complexion-wise, I'll be trying to flag it. And one of these days, maybe we go below a prior low, stay below a prior low, and then it leads to some kind of corrective phase. But until that happens, try and stay with the trend. I did take some spiders home short because I have multiple longs, and I feel like I could trade around it like I did late last week. Have a good night. See you in the morning.